reason I'm here today is to reflect back 3 years ago to December 15th, 2016, where my wife and I, through our attorney, appeared before this board by way of an 8-24 application for the sale of a sliver piece of property located at the dead end where we live, at the end of Myers Lane. The purpose of this purchase was to have an access point to an adjacent lot that my wife owns to the city street, Myers Lane. On December 5th, 2016, after a hearing, this board unanimously approved that sale. This board ruled and directed to take all necessary steps, including signing all documents to effectuate said transfer, including but not limited to executing a deed of conveyance. And that direction was to Mayor Blake and to City Attorney Mr. Burcham. I'm here now 3 years later to inform this board that to date nothing has been done to effectuate that order. 3 years. Our attorney spoke to Town Assessor Mr. Thomas, Dan Thomas. Mr. Thomas at that point used a valuation method and basically stated that the value of this 0.07 acre piece of parcel, which is less than 3,000 square feet, to be anywhere between $2,000 and $5,000. Okay, so several months after you approved that sale, Attorney Burcham then notified our lawyer that Mr. Thomas has now changed his evaluation to a different method, and that price has risen tenfold to $22,500. We disagreed with his analysis and his valuation. We hired our own appraisal, and over several months of back and forth, we eventually came and agreed upon a price. That price was $10,800, which back in that day was the actual appraised value for the entire parcel that we were looking to take only that sliver from. Flash forward to June 25th, 2018, over a year ago. Through our attorney, we prepared and sent a contract to Attorney Burcham, along with all the collateral documents. We've been ready, willing, and able to effectuate that sale and consummate the transaction, and that's what we wish to do. Since June 25th, 2018, however, that contract has been sitting stale in City Hall, unsigned. Since that time, over the course of last year, our attorney has had numerous emails to Mr. Burcham asking what is going on, why can't we close the deal? Crickets, nothing. Attorney Burcham then recently informed our lawyer that Mayor Blake believes he has the power, in other words, to ignore the Board of Aldermen's directive and approval, and has decided not to sign the contract nor a deed of transfer. Hearing this, we made another attempt on August 25th, 2019, by way of email to both Mayor Blake and Attorney Burcham to have a face-to-face meeting with us and our lawyer in order to discuss the matter, see what kind of resolution we could come to, and see what the obstacles are to getting this done. We have not gotten a response. We have, in preparation of that contract and putting it together, we spent considerable sums of money on lawyer fees, on surveys, on legal descriptions, all in reliance on your authority and our belief that the transaction is going to be consummated. To this day, it still hasn't. So we have waited patiently for 3 years with no action. We are, needless to say, disgusted with the chain of events that have occurred. This belief that the mayor, the mayor's office, has some sort of veto power over the legislative branch of this city is very misplaced and certainly unprecedented, not just in this town, but in many other municipalities. What it is, it's acting as a de facto veto power, which says, despite a unanimous opinion of this board, one official can decide, well, maybe I will, maybe I won't. And in this case, the decision is, I won't. So we're left with no other alternative. And I've come before you today, and my wife has, as a courtesy in many ways, despite the incourtesies that we feel that we've received. But here we have a lawsuit that I, as a taxpayer, have to sue my own mayor in order to enforce an action that was approved by this board 3 years ago.
Alderman Giannattasio.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Through you, respectfully, under unfinished business, item number 7, I respectfully submit in the form of a motion, 20 Myers Lane, 8-24 approval, property owners Mark and Lisa Lesso. I'd like to bring that forward to the board for further discussion, and that would be in form of a motion.
Mr. Chairman, point of order. You cannot bring unless there is something that is being held in abeyance, that's the only thing that constitutes unfinished business.
I'm sorry, Mayor Blake, can you repeat that, please?
At this point, there is nothing that is pending as being placed on the table for unfinished business.
Well, I see the city attorney's not here tonight, so that does pose an issue. But I would say this, in the form of a motion, I'm asking for further discussion only in the terms of why this vote was not effectuated.
And Mr. Chairman, again, as you heard tonight, there's pending litigation. Anything that has to do with this issue should not be. It would be reckless to discuss this at a meeting other than with the city attorney, especially if the city attorney is not here. So this would be something that would only be discussed in executive session. But again, it's not proper to put forth on unfinished business because there, at this point, is nothing pending.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. We're under agenda number 9. There is no new business.
Mr. Chairman?
Yes. Alderman Giannattasio.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'd like to submit under new business, section 9, respectfully submit in the form of a motion, 20 Myers Lane and 824 approval by this board, property owners Mark and Lisa Lesso, for further discussion.
Second.
There's a motion and a second to bring up under new business.
There was a price that was agreed on the sliver piece of property by both parties, and the contract was supposed to be effectuated by Mayor Blake. And to our knowledge here tonight, it's been brought to light that it has not been followed through, and I'd like to know from the mayor the reasons for that.
Okay, motion has been made and seconded. Just to let the board know, excuse me, on the agenda, when a motion has been made under new business, we have to have a 2/3 vote of all those present and voting. So there is no discussion under this. So all those in favor?
Point of order. Why isn't there a discussion on the motion?
There's no discussion when you open up and under new business, the agenda item, new business. It's not on the agenda.
Well, that's the point of discussion.
Mr. Chairman, just for clarification, under our rules, Robert's rules, a motion to add new business to the agenda is not debatable. Once it's placed on the agenda, it becomes debatable.
Now, all we're doing right now is voting to put it on the agenda first. So, again, the motion has been made and seconded to put it on the agenda. All in favor? Opposed? No. Roll call vote, Madam Secretary.
Alderman Anderson? No. Alderman Fortunati?
No.
Alderman Gaynor?
Yes.
Alderman Gurman?
Yes.
Alderman Giannattasio?
Yes.
Alderman Smith? No. Alderman Sutton?
No.
Alderman Tranquilli?
Yes.
Alderman Vecchiarelli? No. Alderman Vitro?
No.
Alderman Vitale?
Yes.
Alderman Zamillo?
No.
8 noes, 5 yeses, the motion fails.